Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your daily market recap. Like, subscribe, let's see what SPY and friends brought us today. 0.07 to the downside and the SPY, but the most important thing is 456 together with this yellow trend line is a very tough resistance, as you can see, since November 20th in the past 9-10 sessions. This area is a major resistance. 451 to the downside needs to hold, otherwise in my opinion we will close this gap at the 441, breaking up above, closing above the 456, preferring to close above this yellow trend line, and we are heading towards the 470. December is here, last month of 2023. Believe it or not, we are in 2024. QQQ 394 to the upside, very tough resistance. 388 support, as you can see, same as the SPY. Qs is stuck inside a very tight range. Let's see if bulls will give up. We are heading back to the 384 and then 378. Bullish continuation above 394 and then, in my opinion, 410 to the upside. Dow Jones slowly continuing grinding up, and as long as we have higher highs, higher lows, and we are following this red line, we are heading north. IWM 0.5% to the upside, but look at this. If you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos and you join our live every day 8 a.m. Eastern time, you know this yellow zone. And once again, look at this. High of the day, 181, the higher border of this yellow zone, got rejected and closed below this yellow zone. Now 177 is the support. Below it, 174. Below 174, we will see this gap at the 170, together with this red line retested as support. Bitcoin, nothing much, moving sideways. As you can see, all we need to follow is price, aka candlestick analysis, and then we have trend lines and Fibonacci to let us know that all this area, the 38K area, together with this white trend line, is a very tough resistance for Bitcoin. Below 36,800, we will see 36. Below this area, below the 35,600, we are heading south to the 34,640, breaking above this zone. Next major resistance, in my opinion, would be the 44K. Ethereum, same thing, moving sideways, nothing much. We have a blue trend line that helps us to identify that for now we are in an uptrend. Breaking below this one, we will see 1931 and then 1746. Crude oil, major resistance, trying, let's see, another day or two above the 78, and we will see 81 and then 85 to the upside. NG1, natural gas, 285 from support, now becomes resistance. Let's clean the chart a little bit. This trend line and this trend line are not relevant anymore for now. What do we see? Downtrend. Trend lines. This is all we need to follow. Trend lines shows us the way for future price action. And for natural gas futures, NG1, as long as price is between these two trend lines, we don't look to go long. It's only short time, and at least until this gap at the 267 will get filled, and then we will look at bounce at the 257, 255 area, maybe towards the upper red line. SOXX 524 resistance. We have a gap at the 514 area. Doji, indecision in the market for SOXX, not surprising, between the 511 and the 524 in the past 2 weeks or so, breaking below the 511, 501, and then this gap at the 491. Gold trend lines. Perfect example of why we need to follow trend lines to show us the way for future price action. Higher highs, resistance for the higher highs. There is a such good thing as a good resistance, and this yellow trend line is a perfect example. Doji of a trend line after this bull run, some kind of a retracement, pullback, cool off from the bulls will be expected, is much expected. We can take like this, or even like this, and from here 2033 needs to hold, otherwise 2018 and 2008 long. If you're not long yet on gold, I would wait for some kind of a retracement and then bounce back up, or a break above this zone towards the 2110. KRE went all the way to the 4570 area. Look left, always look left. Ask yourself, why price went all the way up here and then got rejected? You don't need even Fibonacci. Put a line over here, follow the line left. This area, resistance, resistance, support and resistance, and here, resistance. So, by natural things of price action, what was resistance will become once again resistance or support in future. Also, we have two major gaps to the downside, the 44 and the 4160. I don't know about this 4160, but this gap at the 44 needs to get filled, and the sooner the better. And then bulls of KRE will have power to break up above, and if you're a pattern trader, you can clearly see some kind of an inverted head and shoulders. But as you know, Fibonacci traders, we don't rely on patterns because patterns are not reliable. All we need to do is take a line, draw a line, trend line, and here you are. As long as this purple trend line is holding, we are heading north. Apple 0.5% to the downside. Bulls of Apple needs some time off. 188.60 needs to hold. Below it, this gap, we have a slight gap over here, but it doesn't matter how big or small the gap is. 90% chance it will get filled. This gap will get filled below the 188.60. Long continuation on Apple only above 193. And of course, it's only my opinion. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media. You can follow to get ideas. Learn. But in the end of the day, it's your money. AMD, another day, another doji. Open, very strong opening. Let's check the 15 minutes on AMD. As you can see, open the day with a major gap to the upside, and then slowly gave everything back, and this gap needs to get filled. And if you're not long yet on AMD, this is not the time to go long. We need to wait. First, this gap needs to get filled, then we can take this trend line over here. As you can see, it's a steep uptrend channel. In my opinion, too steep. Needs to break to the downside, touch the 117, maybe the 112, and then next leg up. Nvidia 0.7 to the upside, but Fibonacci to the upside from support to resistance. 488 area, 474 is the support. Why? Look left. It was the high of October. It was the high of July of 2023. And you have a major broadening formation. Below 474, we will see 456, and then this yellow trend line to the downside. Long continuation above 488 towards the upper yellow trend line. Microsoft 1% to the downside, but we are still inside an uptrend. Look at this. This is why I say always follow price and use trend lines and Fibonacci for future support and resistance. Look at this channel. Resistance, resistance, resistance. This one, support. Tesla 1% to the downside, broke. Basically didn't really broke above it. We are still inside this zone. Let's mark it in red so we can see it better as a red zone. Very tough resistance. We are still in a long-term lower highs. Now the 244 area needs to hold. It was a very tough resistance over here, as you can see. Broke to the upside yesterday. Today tried for a bullish continuation, failed, and now 244 from support, support, resistance. Now once again support. Google 1.6% to the downside. Bulls of Google just gave up on the 140 area. Now going towards this gap at the 132, and then we will look for the next leg up. Meta 2% to the downside. Look at Meta. Just in the first 2 hours or so, just went down towards this trend line. This is the daily trend line. Now struggling to hold. 328 is the support. Below it, we will see 317. We can also take Fibonacci from here. And as you can see, Fibonacci gives us everything. Below this area, 325 and then 321. Shopify, bulls of Shopify are resting. Very normal, very healthy. Look at this bull run towards this red line. This red line from support, resistance, and now in the past 3 sessions, once again resistance. 71 needs to hold. Below it we have all the levels to the downside. Long continuation Shopify. 2 options. Option 1, look for some kind of retracement to the 71 or the 68.50 and then bounce back up, or closing above this red line and then 79 and 85 to the upside. Netflix, very boring price action on Netflix in the past week, moving sideways, doji after doji. It's a matter of time before bulls or bears will give up. If bulls will give up, we will see retesting this red line as support once again at the 464 maybe. If bears will give up, we will see bulls taking us towards the 500. Amazon, last but not least, 0.5% to the downside, but look at this price action. Very nasty price action. Sideways move. Doji, sideways move. 147 to the upside is the resistance. 140 to the downside, support. Below this red line, we are heading south to the 140. Overall, not much of a price action. We need to see something happening. Bulls or bears in the past week, all across the board. As you can see, we don't have an actual trend, just sideways move all across the board. Indices, cryptos, nothing much. XLE, sideways move. Long on XLE, above this area over here. But for now, looks like XLE is heading south to retest this white trend line. XLV Still in an uptrend, but I will not take long on XLV now. We need to see a bounce of this purple trend line. If we will get this bounce, once again, we are heading north towards the upper purple trend line. Always follow price and use trend lines and Fibonacci to let you know where price might be heading next. Always ask yourself, what if? What if price will break below this area? Where price might be heading next? You have all the Fibonacci. What if price will bounce, break above the 130, You have Fibonacci and trend line to the upside. So I hope you found this video helpful and educational. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, will be much appreciated. Until the next video, stay safe.